All right, in this short video, we're going to explore the families in the wild dataset, which is the most comprehensive dataset for kinship recognition. Now, before we get started, a quick word about FiftyOne and the Dataset Zoo. FiftyOne is an open source tool for building high quality datasets and computer vision models, and the FiftyOne Dataset Zoo contains a collection of common datasets that you can download and explore inside the FiftyOne app with just a few simple commands. Now, a little bit of background about the families in the wild dataset. It is the largest and most comprehensive database available for kinship recognition. It's used as a public benchmark for recognizing families via facial images. It contains more than 26,000 images of 5,000 unique faces collected from almost 1,000 families. It includes the families of publicly recognizable people like Jimmy Fallon, Bob Dylan, Michael Jackson, Margaret Thatcher, and Bruce Lee. The images themselves span a variety of styles and eras, from portraits to cropped group shots, plus old black and white photos and modern color images. The dataset itself was developed and is maintained by the Synergetic Media Learning Lab at Northeastern University. If you'd like to learn more about the dataset itself, check out the links down below in the description. So for those of you not familiar with the use case, let's answer the question, what exactly is visual kinship recognition? Well, in a nutshell, we want to be able to identify who's related and who's not by simply using facial images. We want to be able to identify different family relationship types like mothers, fathers, children's, as well as siblings. We also want to create fine-grained classification so that family trees can be constructed that can include things like uncles, aunts, cousins, and grandparents. So what are the use cases for visual kinship recognition? Well, they can help us identify the relatives of fugitives or criminal suspects. It can aid in modern-day refugee crises by reuniting lost family members who may have been separated due to war, famine, or natural catastrophes. It can help find the relatives of missing or exploited children. And in the field of genealogy services and research, we can use kinship recognition instead of or in conjunction with DNA-based approaches. So what are some of the challenges with conducting visual kinship recognition? Well, there's going to be intra- and interclass variation. Some individuals that look the same are simply not going to be related. There's an insufficient data distribution, and there's also a lack of labeled data. And this is precisely the goal of the Families in the Wild project. It was to build a large-scale kinship dataset to address these particular challenges. All right, first up at the command line, assuming that we're in the directory where we want to set up our virtual environment, let's go ahead and set it up. And once it's set up, we want to activate it. And with the environment activated, the next thing that we want to do is install IPython to give us a more powerful interactive shell. With IPython installed, let's go ahead and upgrade our setup tools. And with our setup tools updated, let's go ahead and install FiftyOne. And with FiftyOne installed, we are now ready to import the families in the wild dataset, plus launch the FiftyOne app. The faces in the dataset were cropped from imagery using the 5-point face detector MTCNN from various photo types like family photos and profile pictures of individuals. The number of members per family varies from 3 to 26, and the number of faces per subject can range anywhere from 1 to 10. Various levels and types of labels are associated with samples in this dataset. Family level labels contain a list of members, with each assigned a member ID unique to that respective family. For example, F0870 MID2 refers to member number 2 of family 870. Now, each member has annotations specifying gender and relationship to all other members in that respective family. For example, you can see them here in FiftyOne. Within FiftyOne, each sample corresponds to a single face image and contains primitive labels like family ID and member ID. The relationship labels are stored as multi-level classifications, where each classification represents one relationship that the member has with another member of the family. The number of relationships will differ from one person to the next, but all faces of the same person will have the same relationship labels. Additionally, the labels for the kinship verification task are also loaded into this dataset through FiftyOne. As with relationships, the kinship labels are stored as classifications. Whereas a relationship label only specifies a role for the associated person, such as a parent, A kinship label is going to specify both sides, with FD, for example, representing a father-daughter kinship, and MD representing a mother-daughter kinship. In order to make it easier to browse the dataset in the FiftyOne app, each sample also contains a Face ID field containing a unique integer for each face of a member, always starting with 0. This allows you to filter the Face ID field to 0 in the app to show only a single image of each person. Now let's wrap things up with some next steps. If you haven't already done so, make sure to install FiftyOne. As you saw, it's quick, easy, and it's painless. If you have any questions or problems that you need answers to, feel free to join us on the FiftyOne Community Slack channel, where the maintainers as well as community users can help you with your issues. If you like our work here at Voxel 51, please make sure to star the FiftyOne project. We appreciate it. And don't forget that there are over 30 datasets in the FiftyOne Dataset Zoo that cover all manner of use cases, including video, images, location, point clouds, detection, segmentation, and more.